From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. AccuWeather meteorologists are warning of a phenomenon known as king tides, which are coming to east and south-facing beaches along the southeast coast early next week and will lead to disruptive coastal flooding. The extra push of water ashore, occurring around high tides on Monday and Tuesday from Florida to North Carolina, will be assisted by the moon. AccuWeather's Dan Pitanowski said that a full moon will rise on Monday, and with the moon approaching perigee, tides are typically higher than average around that time as the Earth, Sun, and Moon are all aligned. This causes their gravitational pulls to combine and produce higher tides. An added complication of a strong onshore flow will only help to worsen tidal flooding in the coming days. A large and nearly stationary area of high pressure off the northeast coast will produce day after day of easterly flow this weekend into the first part of next week. Lower pressure from a broad storm with tropical moisture in the Gulf and southwestern Atlantic will only add to the onshore flow. While residents along the southeast coast are no strangers to tidal flooding, even on perfectly sunny days because of climate change-induced rising sea levels, king tides can push water up to an even higher level. Some of the more notorious spots for coastal flooding, including lower-lying beaches, cities, and tidal basins, such as those found in and near Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Savannah, and Miami, will especially be at risk for inundation early next week. In Charleston Harbor, for example, high tides typically reach a level of 6 to 7 feet above mean lower low water. During king tides, that water level can reach as high as 7.5 or 8 feet above mean lower low water, which can lead to flooded roads in downtown Charleston. AccuWeather's Brett Anderson says that high tides occurring during the morning hours on Monday and Tuesday will be higher than those in the afternoon and evenings. Even ahead of the king tide threat early next week, coastal flood advisories were posted for more vulnerable coastlines this weekend from the east-central Florida peninsula to North Carolina due to the robust onshore flow and the building gravitational pull from the moon. The threat was not limited to just the Atlantic coastline, but also for those farther inland along tidal rivers, bays, and sounds, such as the Cape Fear River, the Cooper River, Pamlico Sound, Savannah River, and St. Johns River. When coastal flooding is forecast, locals often know what action to take, but sometimes visitors and tourists don't. Cars parked on roads vulnerable to flooding will need to be moved to higher ground around times of high tide. In addition to water rising from the ocean and other bodies of water, it will be falling from the sky. The easterly flow will come with frequent showers, some with torrential downpours. By the second half of the week, the king tides will continue. However, onshore winds will weaken and even become slightly offshore in some areas, which will reduce the risk of coastal flooding. That's all for now. You can find more regional forecasts and science-based articles at AccuWeather.com, and for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe. I'll be back on Monday with more from AccuWeather.